there was a legislation that was passed where rap lyrics will no longer be used against rappers. And I saw mixed
in New York,
and I saw mixed reactions. I saw some people playing devil's advocate saying this is bad because now you're giving the green light to people to continue to speak on the topics and rap on the topics that they spoke on, where in this situation it could be a clean up the lyrics type thing where people would kind of move towards cleaning up the lyrics because of the legislation and blah 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 blah. And then there's the other side, like Bobby Smurda says he's grateful for it. He thinks it's great. Obviously he's been through his situation.
A little biased maybe,
perhaps, but
possibly.
He says he's cool with it. He's grateful. He thinks it's dope, and he says it needs to happen in Georgia.
Yeah, well, I don't think a RICO charge is going to that's not going to save them.
That's unfortunately federal, right?
Yeah, that ain't got nothing to do with what they talking about.
Do with Georgia at this point.
Okay,
and then they got Gunna mixed up in all kinds. They saying his next court date is not till January of 2023.
And they said no, you can't go home.
They denied his bond, I think.
Yeah, there are no festivals for him. But
he going to sit down.
Well, he can get a hologram, maybe.
No, ain't no hologram for Gunna. I don't even
missing all them bags. So
yeah, he going to sit down.
Yeah, he's quarantined.
Jay Diff, what you think about this though, man? What you think about what side are you on, or is there a side?
I mean, there's always the freedom of speech argument, but there's always consequences that come behind freedom of speech.
Right.
If you're smart, you're not necessarily telling on yourself on wax either.
True.
So you have to personally, as artists, draw the line. And am I involved in a certain situation, or have I been, and what I'm talking about might get me jammed up?
Right.
Or am I speaking from someone that is kind of like a reporter, so to speak, just letting you know what's going on out here? There's a difference,
right?
Because a lot of people they want to have that image like they're still out here in the streets, which isn't really smart
at all.
You're rich right now. You did everything to get yourself out of the streets, but now you want to rap about how streets you are because you never left. So I'm not wishing jail time on nobody that came from nothing and have made it, but you got to really, really be smart about what you're doing out here, especially when you're recording. In some cases, might be your confession. So,
yeah,
like I posted some in my Instagram story the other day about a dude. He's talking in what he thinks is code. If you kind of know what he's saying, you know what he's saying. He literally was on there saying that he killed somebody and said who he killed.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, y'all got to get for real about this. This is not fun and games. It's not a video game. This is real life. So
I saw when you shared that. That's just openly too.
Yeah,
it was,
he's just telling you.
Ridiculous.
Probably was talking to Vlad.
That sounded about right.
Yeah.
Vlad to get you to tell on yourself.
But see, at the same time, like, I feel like that's always going to be a thing.
What's that?
People sharing too much on social media platforms and stuff like that. But I don't think, like, the censorship thing is interesting because I'm not really for censorship really at all.
Right.
And so I think this is a good thing to kind of weigh. I don't know, man. That's what I was
about to say. It's
so close, but it's like you have to like respect the sanctity of art.
Right.
Yeah. That's true.
That's just kind of what it is, and there's no way to, unless it's like a. I don't know, man. I really don't.
There's a lot of gray area.
I just
there, right?
really don't know, but I do lean towards like this is a good thing.
Okay.
But because there's most likely the people that are going to talk about this stuff in songs are probably going to slip up and say something stupid somewhere else.
9 times out of 10, that's
going to happen. Give a disclaimer like Dirk did on one of his tracks. He's like, "This is not real." You know what I'm saying?
This is a story.
Yeah.
But then you don't have to do that. You know what I mean?
That's true too. But
there's movies being made every day. And
I was waiting on somebody to say the movie angle.
But you can come on like, I don't know if you guys have seen this recently in some of the streaming movies. It'll be like, this is based on a true story, except for when it's not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
that's tough. That's tough.
It's up for interpretation. So I don't know. I lean more towards like less policing of that aspect of it. That. And, if you want to get a case on somebody, then do the work. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, they make it easy for you to do the work. Be clear.
Or don't put yourself in a position where your music can possibly be used against you.
Right.
Say that because
part.
like
Be smart about
you can still
That part.
get your point across or tell a story or whatnot, and not necessarily be all in the mix like that.
Yeah,
It could be past the statute of limitations. And you talking about some stuff that went on long time ago, versus you talking about something that happened last week.
Yeah. I got a song called "I Shot Him on 36th Street at 9 o'clock."
Yeah,
that's what's going to happen in the future.
J-Mo, what side are you on, man? Devil's advocate? Are you leaning towards more what Lone was talking about?
No, my whole thing is this. Like, because the thing is, they aren't even looking for you to confess on wax. They, a lot of times when they want to point out your lyrics, they want to bias the jury and say, this is the kind of person that this individual is.
Agreed.
Okay, listen, he talking about, he got clappers and he's on the block, he's got this, that, and third. They try to establish motive through your art, whether or not it has anything to do with anything that has actually happened. So that's what a lot of this using lyrics like, oh, this guy is a bad guy, just listen to what he raps about.
Right.
That they've done that before.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not for anybody being stupid enough, just like you referenced Vlad, if Vlad, says to, rapper, young whoever, hey,
put a little in front of that,
Lil whoever.
Yeah, there you go.
It says, so how'd you get into the rap game? It's like, well, after this dude shorted me on a key of dope, I shot him in the face, and that's when I realized I wanted to get serious about rap music.
True.
Like, that's not Vlad or anybody else's fault that you said that, on camera.
Right.
I think a lot of people,
He's leading him.
you
though.
can't by asking you how I got. Yeah, exactly. That's how a lot of people feel.
Here's my thing though, man. Lone could have. I'm gonna use Lone as an example. No, I'm gonna use Terry as Red August as an example. So Red August could have an album that's coming out, right?
We just went around the table.
Yeah, I'm gonna go around. Red August could have an album out, right? And he can sit down with Vlad, and he's not a first time guest of Vlad, so it's not let's start from the beginning and tell your whole story. But for some reason, Vlad will be like, yeah, so did you have your parents in your household when you were growing up? Or did your daddy sell crack? Those are the questions where I'm like, fam, he got an album coming out. He in a movie.
You smoke crack, don't you?
Yeah, like, why are you playing Joe Clark asking him if he smoked crack or grew up with Ready Rock or some goofy stuff that?
I'm just saying, like, a lot of times people would be like, oh, they manipulated look.
I see where you going.
That's where I'm saying a lot of people, they want to say certain things. It's like, no,
did you have a daddy? Like, what does that have to do with the movie?
You said that. And you answered I just don't feel bad for people who are stupid enough to think that somehow the camera has magic in it that will make you say something that you're not supposed to say.
I can't argue with that.
Because like even people on reality shows they'll say, oh, it didn't really happen like that. I was like, no, it happened like that. Yeah. For reality show, anything that they shoot on video, like Red August, he knows what I'm talking about. Like really, only 1% of 1%. If they film it, really, if they shoot 2 hours worth of stuff,
yeah,
they doing it so they can get maybe 20 seconds or something that they can use. And I like I said, I don't feel sorry for people who confess on wax or say things that could get them caught up in interviews. But at the same time, like if you're talking about what it is to be in a court of law, and if you're just saying, well, one of the young littles, they rhyme about the street life, so that's what we're going to use as motive,
right.
And I want the jury to be biased against them because of what they rap about. I would never want someone to say, okay, Paul Sorvino has been in a bunch of gangster movies, and so if he's going in, he has to be in court for something, or maybe not such a obscure reference. Shout out to Paul Sorvino because he's been in a lot of gangster movies, but say Robert De Niro because he's been in Casino and Goodfellas.
Scarface.
That was Al Pacino. But so anybody who's been in this plethora of gangster movies, say they get caught up in something, it'd be like, well, look at this. He was in 3 episodes of The Sopranos. Mm-hmm. That should go to motive. No, we can't do that.
That's to me. That's the problem with it being admissible is that should never be the case.
They absolutely
I feel
do
like
that though.
That's
what I'm talking
about.
That's
Even
why
with the movies, they don't do it to the director,
right?
But a lot of those actors, unfortunately, like people from The Wire, was really getting caught up.
Yeah.
Well, they was doing stuff before they got on TV.
Yeah. Well,
that
don't help.
I think a couple people on The Sopranos got caught up on some stuff too.
Well, you know, but the dude, because one of the guys he also played in the Bronx Tale. He was living living a life of skullduggery.
Yeah, skullduggery.
Yeah,
but I mean, I don't know, man. I don't want to see nobody going to jail who made it out of the slums, out of out of the struggle. I think a lot of it too is these prosecutors are jealous because these cats got money.
Oh yeah, that's always going to be a thing to where. Well, not so much they have money, but like I can make a name for myself. If I throw Gunna and Young Thug in jail,
I hate that their names be matching up with charges and stuff.
Well, yeah,
I mean, you named yourself Gunna.
It goes back to 𝐶𝗔𝗀, man.
𝐶𝗔𝗀.
And 𝐶𝗔𝗀, he's technically well, I can't say he's not guilty, but it doesn't look like he really was
at all
very guilty of that.
At all.
You know what I'm saying? And he's still sitting in jail right now.
And the name 𝐶𝗔𝗀 ain't help.
Nah, his name didn't help at all.
Because I don't, because chances are they always say a jury of your peers. Look, we know how that goes.
Exactly.
And
that's why they call you in so that they can pick and choose who gets to go on this jury.
Exactly. There you go. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, man. So Bobby Shmurda's happy. I'm sure there'll be other rappers that are.
I don't know why he already did his time.
he's out the clear. He's in the clear now.
He definitely did his. Stood up and did his. So
this Young Thug and Gunna situation looking bad.
Yeah, they gonna sit down for a little while, as we say, for sure.